I feel that when it comes to the multiverse of Marvel, it's just going to be a really great celebration. What I mean is, I feel like Marvel has that point now that they could establish multiple universes and have it where we're continuing in this continuity and going forward. And it could be a hardcore reboot in a universe to where we have another actors playing Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America, all these iconic characters. It could incorporate a lot of the characters like yours truly, Deadpool, Morbius, Venom, all these iconic characters into the Marvel Universe now that is such a degree that I feel like you can't fuck it up. You just can't fuck this shit up. And it's just, I feel like it is slowly coming to a fact that, I'm sorry to say this, DC is done. DC is done. I mean, they failed to do a universe, and they're going to fail on a multiverse aspect. And I feel like with Marvel, they could pull characters like Quicksilver from the Fox era and pull him into the WandaVision show. What makes it any different if they're going to do the same with Deadpool, Wolverine, or whoever? Now, granted, we don't know Hugh Jackman's going to come back. Granted, you could say he ain't going to come back, but you never know. Hell, you could have X-23 coming back. Stuff like that. Stuff where you're just literally like, if they could do all that stuff, they could, a lot of the times, they could solve their problems doing the multiverse. A lot of times they could have where, oh yeah, the reason why we have X-Men in the Marvel Universe now is because of WandaVision, and we also merged some of the characters from the Fox era characters into the MCU, so that's how we got the X-Men. And we go from there. Or whatever. And it makes me feel like we're building bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger things to make it where nothing will ever touch Marvel. Nothing will ever touch them. Not even DC, not even Legendary, not even the fucking any studio could ever touch them. Sony is trying their best to coexist with Marvel because they tried to competition with Marvel with their Spider-Verse films and it failed. And that's why they were forced to fucking sign Marvel Studios and vice versa. Now, granted, they're slowly trying to get off the ground of the Spider-Man spin-offs, and hopefully none of them bomb. I mean, Venom is the exception mark, but, I mean, the facts are, you have all these movies now, and you're having characters like Deadpool, Quicksilver, and other characters be into the MCU. I'm starting to think, for me, they got at least another 20 years of content that they could literally do just on the multiverse aspect. And they could do a lot better job on the characters than other studios did. Now, granted, it would be funny if we had the X-Men Fox actors come back and they got their iconic costumes. I would laugh my ass off if we have the original X-Men actors come back to play the X-Men characters again and have Hugh Jackman come back for a maybe 5-year deal, maybe, who knows, and he could play Old Man Logan, and you could have Laura Kinney be the new Wolverine, and you could go forward with that direction. Now, granted, is that going to happen? I don't think so, but I mean, it's an option that they could do. But, you know, side point, if we can bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man again, and Tobey Maguire is the first actor who played Spider-Man, then honestly, I would not be surprised if we did the same with Hugh Jackman. I just would not be surprised. Come on, buddy. I would not be surprised. Don't tell me otherwise. But yet again, we'll see. I mean, the actors of Marvel Studios want him back as Wolverine and want to see that whole moment where we see Wolverine in the MCU, their Wolverine. And honestly, it would be great. It would be great to see Hugh Jackman come back. But yet again, it's just, I think that time is done. But yet again, you never know. Never say never, buddy. Never say never, because there's a lot of things you may be like, whoa, didn't expect that to happen. And but for me, I just feel like with Marvel and everything between, it's just, it really makes you proud. It makes you happy that they're doing a lot of things. They're making sure that they're taking their time and they're going forward with this direction. And they're doing a lot of things just to make you excited to see what they're going to do for the future of the MCU, and building into House of M, building into Spider-Verse, doing Armor Wars, doing the newer generation of heroes, Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, the Young Avengers, all these stuff that needs to happen in the MCU. You're just like, oh my god, I'm literally fucking excited to see the future. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. This is going to be great. We can't wait to see the new Avengers. We can't wait to see a lot of things. And it really makes me hoping that when we do all this stuff and we go forward to build on Secret Wars, that I feel like that's the end game. I feel like Marvel can't really top that. I feel like that's going to be the point where when we do Secret Wars, which I really hope they do like a trilogy on a standalone, like Secret Wars, Avengers, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, and we do it where we tackle the entire story on that whole thing, and we have Doctor Doom as the main villain, and we go forward with that whole thing. It would be the be-all, end-all of all Marvel movies, because we would represent the entire history of Marvel movies. The entire history, from the Sam Raimi trilogy, from the X-Men Fox movies, the MCU, the Sony Spider-Man films, and the Sony Spider-Man spin-off films. And who knows who they will add later on. They may add other characters from video games, comic books, whoever. I mean, whoever. Or even add alternate characters from the What If show, be in the Secret Wars trilogy, which I think it should happen. But yet again, at this point in Marvel, it's just, you're witnessing the opportunity to do multiple storytelling, to bring in new interesting concepts and bring newer characters into the MCU. Do I think Iron Man will come back and face Doctor Doom, along with meeting up with Reed Richards, the X-Men, and all those characters in between, and also meeting the two other versions of Spider-Man? Sure, why not? If they're going to do the same with Thanos, which they're definitely interested on doing, more likely that will happen again. But we'll see how things go. I'm looking forward to the future. I really cannot wait. I can't see how they could fuck this up. I really can't see how they would fuck it up. It would take a miracle just to have them fuck up. I just don't see how they could fuck it up. They're doing so good. It's so good to be true. It's just, it's very hard to believe that Marvel would ruin it. I just don't see it. And many people say, don't be surprised. I'm like, dude, at this point, you can't fuck it up. You really can't. It would be stupid if they would just build this up and have it all be ruined. I just don't see it how. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I can't wait to see the future, and really excited to see how they go. Tell me your thoughts down below. And do you agree with me, or do you think I'm a fucking idiot on saying this? Marvel's doing a better job on terms of movies, and also not only a cinematic universe, but a multiverse. That's pretty bad. That's really fucking pretty bad. And I'm not saying it as a Marvel fan. I'm saying it as a DC fan.